Welcome to the Sports Guys Extra. You'll be able to see this on a KSAT TV app and also on all of our streaming devices each and every week. Is where we have just a more informal setting here in the actual sports department at KSAT 12. And so we're going to actually start around the table. Of course, Larry Ramirez is here, Jake Kaburski, Andrew Seeley, Mike Klein back there. He's our sports producer. He wants nothing to do with this, and how can you blame him? Mark Mendez is one of our photographers here, and Adam Higgins is the other. So we're just going to talk about different sports subjects, and maybe you can even send us some email suggestions if you feel like it. Just send it to gsimmons@ksat.com. Let's get right on here, and we'll find out biggest surprise of NBA free agency for you, Larry.
First of all, I'll get a shot of these socks.
There, nice.
Yeah, huh? I like those little duckies. Anyways, biggest surprise, honestly, Kevin Durant. I really thought he would go to the Knicks, but I guess when you think about the fact that he suffered that injury, I'm not so surprised. But I really thought still he would go to New York.
How about you, Jay?
I'm going to second what Larry said. I think regardless of the injury, I think that the Knicks were dumb for not offering Durant a supermax, regardless of the Achilles, regardless of him taking a year off because, obviously with the recovery, I think they should have still offered him.
That said, if you're the owner, James Dolan, and you're going to risk millions of dollars on a guy who's already 30 years of age, and he's not going to be able to play for you for one full year, and there's no guarantee, by the way, Andrew, that he's going to come back the same Kevin Durant as when he left. Do you still risk that kind of money?
You got to do it at least for appearance's sake. He's Kevin Durant. He's proven himself throughout his entire career so far. You got to at least put the offer out there, and if he accepts, great. If not, then you at least did everything you could in that moment.
And that's the way this got out to begin with, I believe, because Kevin Durant's people said that he would not entertain any contract or any offer that wasn't the max deal. So really, it kind of takes the pressure off of Kevin and his camp on this, that the Knicks, they let it get out that the Knicks did not make that offer of a full deal. Now, the Knicks have pretty much confirmed that at this point, telling their fan base that they didn't want to risk it with the injury. But at the same time, if you're the Knicks fan base, don't you say, wait a minute, Rudy Gay's playing for the Spurs, and he looks pretty good after a couple of years removed, right?
That's why you traded Porzingis anyways. You wanted to create cap space. So you go get your guy. You go get Durant. And now what you got? You got two mid-range guys nobody's heard of. And that's your replacement for Kevin Durant.
Well, let me ask, Larry, do you think Kevin Durant is the same Kevin Durant when he comes back?
I think only time will tell on that. I mean, with today's modern medicine and rehab and how everything's just so much better than it was, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, he has a really great chance to come back as the Kevin Durant that we know. But until he gets out there, gets contact, starts running up and down the floor, we're really not going to know.
Are you surprised at this point in the game that DeMarcus Cousins has not been picked up by a team? Do you think his performance in the finals, which was good for one game, but very sluggish in several of the other games, affected his ability to get another deal?
Yeah, I'm not totally surprised, mainly because he's been dealing with some injuries the last handful of seasons, if I recall correctly. And I know there's
the quad and the Achilles.
Yeah,
right.
And there's some talk out there now that he's been in contact with DeMar DeRozan of the Spurs, and now people are like, will he come to San Antonio? The Spurs don't need another big man, personally. With what they have right now, I don't think they need another.
And they'd have to clear out a roster spot to get him, too.
Because all their spots are already guaranteed.
Right.
So they'd have to trade somebody. Who would that be? I don't know. Just to get him in here. I like the bigs the Spurs have right now, and I don't think they need to bring Boogie along.
Are you surprised, Jake and Andrew, of the show that's going on? You weren't around when we did it with Jason Kidd in 2003, when we literally chased him all over the city with a helicopter up to La Cantera to his hotel room because he was the big free agent that year. Tony had struggled a little bit in that finals in 2003. Kid looked good, even though the Spurs won, and he was a big free agent coming up, veteran point guard, one of the top point guards at the time. But now we're seeing the same thing happen with Kawhi Leonard in Toronto, where they're flying helicopters or following him all the way to the hotel. Fans are camping outside his hotel. Is that going to help keep Kawhi in Toronto, or is that going to chase him out of town?
If I'm Kawhi, I'm out of here. That's crazy. And I'm sorry, if the opposite was true, if he is maybe attracted to that because the fan base is so passionate in Toronto, he left a city with a passionate fan base. So to me, it's like the opposite effect. He's like, I don't want that media attention. I don't want all these cameras and helicopters surrounding me. He's kind of a quiet guy, kind of an introvert. I think it's almost a negative effect.
So this is the worst thing they could have done to try and keep Kawhi?
I won't necessarily say the worst. I don't think that this is going to have any bearing on his decision whatsoever. I think he's already made it. He's just drawing this out to try and gauge interest from other parties. If he can get a better deal somewhere else or maybe find a better situation overall. looking at this, as Jake said, he's already left a small town market where he was the best player there. He's done everything he can do in Toronto. He brought a championship to the city, the first one in their history. So at this point, he's got nothing left to prove. It's just what else he wants to add to that resume. And as far as the media attention goes, I mean, it's kind of expected. I mean, his decision here is going to shape the face of the NBA for the next couple of years, regardless of where he goes.
If he goes to Los Angeles, he doesn't stay in Toronto, which team in Los Angeles gets him? The Clippers or the Lakers?
Yeah, I think the Lakers, without a doubt, because the Clippers blew it in free agency. They really didn't pick up anybody who could be a star there along, with him. But at the same time, maybe that's what Kawhi wants. I mean, maybe he wants to be the big dog on a team, but his better chances would be the Lakers and to join, the likes of LeBron and Anthony Davis. Yeah. So
you could have a big three. If Kawhi joins the Lakers, are they instant NBA champs?
Yes. Even though it's their first season together.
Right out of the gate?
I think
wait,
so.
Instant champs or instant favorites to be champs?
No, I'm saying instant champs.
I think they win the
Actually
ship. I think they win the ship. I really do.
See, that's what I'm saying too. I go a year first in.
Wow.
I don't see that happening. But will they be contenders for a championship?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
At least
but
Western
I'm
Conference
asking, are they
Finals.
going to be instant champs like next year? And
I
you
think
say
so.
yes.
I think so. Tell me who's going to beat them in the East. Tell me who's going to beat them.
In the West, you mean?
Or, no, well, if they get to
Oh,
the
if they
finals,
win it?
if they're contending for a championship, they win the Western Conference, and then they go to the finals, who beats them in the East? Exactly.
I don't think they get the Western Conference Finals championship the first year.
You think Golden State beats them?
Or another team. Yeah, no, I don't know that they win the West right out of the gate either.
Now, here's my question to you then. A lot of people out there are saying that Golden State, they're done, they're over with.
Oh,
So
no, I
you
disagree.
don't think so?
Totally disagree. No, I heard that the other day, and I went, how can you throw them out? It's like the same talk we heard about the Spurs. Oh, no, they're done. This is over. And they win another championship. The year they lost 2013, they said they'd never win another championship. What do? They won it the following year. Nobody does that. But that's what I'm saying. Who can beat them? If Kawhi joins the Lakers, who can beat them?
At this point, it comes down to shooting and whoever gets hot. I mean, you've come across teams, even Golden State, they ran up against Houston a number of times, and they probably should have lost Game 6 if any of those threes go down. So
I think Golden State still has a pretty good front-runner chance to win the West again. I would be shocked if
I wouldn't say front-runner, but you've got at least 4 teams, if Kawhi goes to the Lakers, that all have a very good case for being
equal
there.
chance. And I don't think you can count out the Spurs. You play injury factor into all this. You got LaMarcus, you got DeMar, you got a lot of great young guys. We're seeing a lot of Lonnie Walker is on fire here all of a sudden. His defense is just skyrocketed. And DeJounte, he'll be the best. You could argue they would be the best backcourt in the NBA, Derek White and DeJounte Murray. If no other reason for their defense.
And
right?
Jake and I have even talked a little bit about this just on our own, about where the Spurs are and how this is a good opportunity for them to kind of get into the mix with this young core and get them some playoff experience. You saw what Derek White did last year with his minutes in his first, or I guess recently in the last couple months. You put everyone else in that circumstance with Pop, and you start building this core now while you have these Titans up here. While everyone else is falling off, you're going to have a chance to usurp them. And if they get hot this year, who knows?
All right. Let's switch to football real quick. Should Ezekiel Elliott been punished in some way, shape, or form for what he did at the Las Vegas Music Festival in May, where he actually shoved a security guard to the ground, said he apologized because he wanted to get in a restricted area and avoid having to go around a certain area to get where he wanted to go. Now, he met with the commissioner. That has not been the case. He's not going to be disciplined. They say he did not violate the personal conduct policy. But do you think he should have been punished in some way, shape, or form? Because it's not his first rodeo on this.
I feel this is where common sense should have kicked in for him, if not a long, long time ago. Yes, I feel he should have at least drawn some sort of a suspension, 1 or 2 games, because he, like you said, has been in the news for
He's got a history.
So he should know. You are the lead running back of the Dallas Cowboys.
The biggest franchise in all of sports.
One of the top running backs in the NFL. You should know better than to do something like that. If a security guy tells you you need to walk around another 30, 40 feet, whatever it is, then you just need to do it. So, yeah, I feel he should have been punished with at least at a minimum a game suspension, regular season.
What's he doing at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Stay out of Vegas, bro. Go play Fortnite. Stay out of Vegas. Come on, Zeke.
What are you doing at 3 o'clock in the morning? Nothing good happens after midnight. Okay, we have to adjust it now because I'm a little older. Nothing good happens
that
after
was
2
back in
a.m.
your
Well,
day.
for you, nothing happens after like 10 p.m. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But that's like 3 or 4 times now he's gotten himself into trouble, or not really in trouble. He hasn't really done anything bad, but just in some precarious situations that have got some negative attention on him. He's got to learn from that, man.
Did he and the Cowboys dodge a bullet this time?
Yeah, for sure. Last time this happened, it pretty much derailed their entire season. So at a minimum, you've got him for the full season now without any repercussions, hopefully, for the remainder of the time before the season starts. Best case scenario as far as the Cowboys are concerned.
Do you have to assign him a babysitter?
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean, they've had to do it before. This is
Lock
not
him
the
in a
first
padded
player.
room.
they
Don't let him
had.
out. Don't let him out. Only let him out on game day and for practices,
Yeah.
man. You don't want to get him in
Do you
trouble.
give him a curfew?
Maybe you have to.
I'm serious. I mean,
Put him in a room,
If you're
yeah.
risking all this money and all this, the possibility he doesn't play for you, do you give him a personal curfew? Hey, you got to be in by midnight. That's just the way it has
Put
to
him
be.
in a room, lock him in, take the key, throw it somewhere.
But remember where you put it, because you got to let
Right,
him out
that's
for
the
the season.
thing. So
Are the Houston Texans going to be better or worse this season?
Better or worse this season?
And the reason why I get a little shaky with them is the secondary. That's the only reason I get a little
Well,
shaky.
and I'm still a little. I'm not sure what to think about their offensive line
Right.
just yet. If Deshaun gets the protection that he needs,
Right.
then I definitely feel that they are in line to have a better season. I mean, they got some great weapons. They just have to have a left side of the line that protects him.
Texans better or worse this year?
I think they have a better team. I think they'll have a better season. I don't think it's going to be enough to save Bill O'Brien's job. I don't think he and Cal McNair get along too well. I don't think they see eye to eye. I think Bill's out.
Okay, now you say that, but they just got rid of a general manager they only had for 17 months because basically Cal McNair sided with Bill O'Brien over his general manager. Now, probably the general manager wasn't his direct hire. It was probably his father's before he passed away. But that said,
Just the vibe we got, though, at minicamp
right?
was the fact that just kind of the ultimatum, maybe is the right word, that Cal McNair gave not only Bill, but the entire staff, everybody from top to bottom, the coaching staff, the training staff, the players. The expectations have been ratcheted up. Cal wants to win a Super Bowl. He's not playing around. So I think you got to win at least maybe 11, 12 games in the regular season and maybe make a run of the playoffs for Bill to keep his job.
So do you agree with Jake in the fact he's basically saying this is a make-or-break year as head coach for both Bill O'Brien and Jason Garrett?
for sure, and especially O'Brien has been on the hot seat even last year when they were started on that losing streak and all of a sudden went on a tear when they faced teams that were kind of in the right time to face. Let's be honest. You're asking whether or not the team's also going to be better or not. I kind of look at it from the perspective of they're younger, which can be good and bad. Sometimes you get that youth, specifically in the secondary and in the offensive line, both of which are huge points of need. But it's also hard to be better than what they did last year with that huge win streak. You win your division, and really the one place they need to improve is the playoffs. So if that's the case, then you need to focus all your efforts on that. Who cares about which seed you are? You just need to advance farther than you did last year.
Are the Cowboys going to be better this year? And when I say better, do they get further in the playoffs?
I believe so. I mean, again, they're so talented.
Yes.
I mean, look all across the board. I mean,
Right.
oh my goodness. So yeah, I feel that they will have a better season this year. Not quite Super Bowl championship yet, but I think they're getting close and knocking on the door.
Do they get to the NFC Championship this year?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yes, let's just say yes. Why not?
But that would actually be a huge step
That would be
because
a
they
huge
haven't been
step.
there since their last Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I really like the addition of Randall Cobb too. Watching him
Right.
during OTAs and whatnot, he is a great weapon for Dak Prescott, and his yards after the catch, something amazing.
Do the Cowboys get to the NFC Championship this year?
It could happen. And I like what he said.
Temper
A lot of things
response.
could happen, right?
Temper
Yeah,
response.
yeah.
It could happen. No, but I like what Larry said about the addition of Randall Cobb and then a guy like Jason Witten. Obviously, we don't know what he's going to be like, if he's still going to be the same Jason, but that's some more weapons, some veteran presence for Dak. And I think they're going to go the way Dak goes. If Dak continues to improve and get better, I think they'll be just fine, obviously, offensively, and they maybe have a shot of going to that NFC Championship game.
You've covered Green Bay before. Do you think they get to the NFC Championship
Let's
this
put
year?
it this way. I think there's a reason Cobb was let go. To the perspective they didn't sign it. They had enough weapons up there that I think it was already going to be his time eventually. So they're banking on him having a down year this year. I don't think he's quite there yet. I give him about a year or two before he starts that downward trend. but he's also been proven to be injury prone over the past couple of years. And considering the amount of attention that Dak is getting when you add these receivers and they're kind of thinking this is going to be his team, especially coming into a contract year, so there's going to be more pressure on him, I get the feeling that they're going to start tilting the offense toward him, and they've never really done well in that position. They've always been better as a run-first team. And I hope if they're going to be good this year, they don't forget the fact that Zeke's in the backfield.
All right, final topic, because Larry has to actually go do his job on TV here. So, final topic.
Yes.
Tom Dundon says he deserves a $70 million refund over his investment into the Alliance of American Football because he feels he was misled. He was told that it would take 50+ million to get through the first season to have some money left over, capital left over to get to the next season, when in fact he shut the league down because he was losing his shirt, with still 2 games to play in the regular season. First of all, does Tom Dundon, the investor who put $250 million on the line, deserve a refund? And 2, does he get a refund?
I don't think he deserves it, and I definitely don't think he's going to get it.
Where's he going to get it from?
Yeah.
The money tree.
Yeah.
The money tree that grows everywhere. Don't you know that?
Wasn't the part of this too the whole betting app they had, right? The app, real-time stuff.
Yeah.
And all that. He has the technology now and all that.
Right.
He's going to make so much more money. But like we said, like I told you Sunday night at Instant Replay, I'm sure most billionaires don't become billionaires by being nice guys all the time.
No. So there's no setback for him to ask.
Exactly.
You know?
He's not going to get
And
it.
remember now, he's asking the bankruptcy judge here in San Antonio, because that's where all these court filings have been filed, for the $70 million refund. Does he deserve it? Does he get it?
He probably deserves it in theory, but there's no way he gets it. I mean, like I said, unless you find a money tree or a pot of gold, where are you going to get that
But
money
isn't that
from?
the whole part of making an investment? You're taking a risk, and so you're risking the money. The $70 million is gone. It's gone in so many ways. So how do you get a refund out of
Considering
that?
how many stories are made about the AAF having trouble financially for the first half of the season, you're going to come in for the second half and think, oh my gosh, I've never seen this before. I feel like the wool's been pulled out of me. No, are you kidding me? He knew exactly what he was getting into. He got what he wanted, and now he's just trying to rob everyone else before they figure things out. No, he doesn't deserve it. He's not going to get it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Larry. Thank you for
You're
joining
welcome.
us. This is Sports Guys Extra. It's available on the KSAT TV app. It's also available on all streaming devices. And if you have any suggestions, please send one to me, Larry, Andrew, Jake, anybody here, and we'd be happy to take up another topic of your choice next week here on Sports Guys Extra.